Yes, we're back with another episode, another rider. Today we have Isabella, is that right?
Isabel. With
Isabel.
A.
And Antonio, they're from Mexico. So nice to have you here.
Thank you.
So what brought you to London?
We just want to get to know the city a little bit.
Mm-hmm. It's our first time in London.
Okay, before we even get into that, how did you two meet? You're a lovely couple. How did you meet?
In Mexico. It's
We met in...
Tell us the story. We got some time.
We met in Mexico on a club.
In a club?
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, what club was that?
It's called the República. In Mexico, we meet there. Yes.
Okay. And what was your first thoughts when you saw her? And what was your first thoughts when you saw him?
All right. So I thought she was very pretty, like very, very pretty. So I don't know. I knew I was gonna try to talk to her.
Well, I didn't saw him. Like, I was drunk.
You were drunk. Okay.
But I thought he was a good kisser. So
Okay.
I gave him my number.
So you gave him the number after you got the kiss. Oh, that qualifies.
But I didn't live in the city. Like, I was born in the same city, in Torreon, but I study in Monterrey. Like, it's 4 hours
4 hours away.
away. Uh-huh.
So that was your excuse. We better make the most of this meeting.
Yeah, I was like, okay, like, I have nothing to lose. I'm going back to Monterrey. Like,
Okay,
I'm
that's
gonna kiss him.
okay. And what did you think when she kissed you?
When she kissed me,
Yeah, when she kissed you, what did you think?
I don't know. I made it. Like,
I made it. Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
thanks.
High
Like-
five.
job's done. Like, I mean, I knew I wanted to happen. When she said that she gave me her number, I asked for her number because a friend of mine got her Instagram before me.
Oh,
Disgusting.
so there's competition then.
Yeah, it was. He asked me. He said, "Let the best man win."
Okay. And
I
how?
said won because now I'm in London with her.
How long have you two been together then?
5 months.
5 months. So is your other friend is he accepting the fact that he lost, or is he still is he jealous?
When I started dating her, he kind of asked her out, like, but
She's nodding. Go on.
not. But she said no. So now we're cool. Now, like, me and him, we're cool. Like,
All right.
that's it. Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah. Let the best man win.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're happy with the result?
Exactly. Yes.
Now I'm talking to your lady.
No. Yeah,
You're
I'm very happy. But he didn't mention that his friend, it's his cousin.
All right. So yeah, he's not my friend. He's my cousin.
Okay.
So when
Family Feud.
Yeah.
Like one of those South American TV series.
Yeah.
You don't love Chico no more? Okay. All right. So you ended up leaving Mexico. Why?
Because I'm studying international business. Like, I'm going back to Mexico, but I went to study in Paris because it's an exchange program. I have to do it to get graduate.
For 3 months or a year or
No, 6 months.
6 months? Oh, what did your family and your partner think about that when you were saying you were going?
My partner, he didn't want to, like, he didn't want me to go.
You didn't?
And I didn't want to have a boyfriend when I came here. actually.
Really?
Yeah, but, like, I fell in love with him and I was like, okay, let's do it.
Okay, okay, it's all coming out here. This is the Cherry Springer of Taxi Chronicles today. Okay, but you're happy you did.
Yeah, I'm really happy.
And your parents, when you said to your parents, I need to go and live in Paris for the next 6 months, what did they say?
No, they were so happy.
Is it?
My father wasn't. My mother was like, oh my god, you're living the dream. And my father was like, fuck. Now we have to pay more.
Okay, I thought Daddy would have been protective, been worried. But he's just going, no, I got to spend more money. There's a bill. Yeah.
And he was like, oh, and you picked the city, the most expensive city. Like, why?
Did you pick Paris?
Yeah, I picked Paris.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, but you end up coming to London though.
Yeah, like, I really wanted to come visit.
All right. That's nice. That's nice.
Yeah.
So what? How was your from what you believe Paris would be like to when you got there? What was the difference?
I thought that no one will talk in English. They do, but they don't like to. They prefer that I talk in Spanish, actually.
Yeah.
And I didn't knew that that the people in Paris were super cold. Like, they don't care about the other people. Like, they just care about themselves. And how do I say it? Like, the service, like in restaurants, it's awful. Like, they almost throw the food to you. They don't have, like, I don't know, like, kindness.
Yeah.
They don't do.
Yeah. People in Mexico are very welcoming.
Yeah, in Paris, not.
You're saying they're super cold in Paris?
What?
They're super cold and they
people
don't
are
like to
cool.
speak English.
In Mexico, people are very welcoming. Like, very, very welcoming. Like,
In Mexico?
right. Like.
But in Paris, they're cold.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they don't like tourists, that's why.
But they have a lot of tourists. They have 70 million tourists.
Imagine.
We have 30 million, so they're more than done. Yeah. And with all that attitude, I suppose if their tourist numbers drop, they'd start to be politer.
Yeah, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Because we have a bigger population than them, but they have more tourists than us. So technically, they have a bigger population in the sense of cities, in Paris city compared to London city. Because you've always, if you add in the tourists. So if you think about it, if it's 70, London has 30 million tourists every year. That's 2.5 million people every month. So Paris have probably 6 million people every month who visit their city.
Damn.
Wow.
So with 6 million people who weren't really invited, you'd be like, hey, here's your food!
Yeah, I guess.
And things like that, you see.
No, but like in general, also like the people that goes from Paris to Mexico or to other cities, they are like, oh, they were so like welcoming in the restaurant. Like,
Yeah, they're
they
polite.
receive you
Like the
"Hey,
most.
good morning." And
I
it's like,
think the most visited city in the world is Acapulco, Mexico. Like, that's the most, or Cancun, Mexico. Like, one of them too.
Cancun.
No, yeah, I think it's Cancun, the most touristic place in the world.
You sure?
Yeah.
More than 70 million people.
Yeah, you can Google
All right. Google, what is the most visited city in the world?
Voy a quedar como pendejos, es París.
On the website atleast.com, they say Hong Kong. Hong Kong
What the
has
fuck?
the most visited
Alright,
city in the
Hong Kong.
world.
That's
Okay.
fine, but Cancun
Well,
is
that
up
makes
there.
sense because they've got more bigger population than everybody
Right.
else.
But
Yes.
yeah, but you're also taking into account the people traveling in China. So what we're
Yeah, but they're still tourists. If
Right,
somebody
right,
comes,
right.
if somebody
I'm not
comes from North England,
right,
to-
I'm not
to-
saying it's wrong. What I'm saying is Cancun is up there, maybe top 10 or something.
I won't start doing Google on top 10 visit countries.
Right. Don't worry. That's fun.
So, you said you're an engineer.
Right.
You're working as an engineer.
Right.
What? You're mechanical.
Right.
So tell us about that. What do you do as a mechanical engineer? What kind of?
So we manufacture gauges and fixtures mainly for General Electric and Caterpillar and John Deere, like industries like that.
Okay.
Right.
That's interesting. And what does your lovely lady? What do you want to be? You're doing politics.
No. My father has a company of chemicals, and I want to export the products. That's why I'm studying the international business. He's also doing like machines and everything. He's an engineer. I couldn't study an engineer. That's so difficult. But I really love negotiations.
So you two, when you get married, assuming you're not married yet, will be a good team for your father's business.
Him? Yeah.
Yeah, both of you. Which are him? Yeah. Look at her eyes. Yeah. Has Daddy met him?
Oh yeah.
And he approves of him?
No.
No. Oh, okay.
I'm kind of Jewish.
She's Jewish. She's
Oh,
not
you're
kind
kinda
of Jewish. She's Jewish.
Okay.
It's Catholic.
And he wants you to marry a Jew.
He might.
Kinda, yeah.
So he doesn't want it. So that's funny because as a father, I'm a father, my daughter's 19. I just want my daughter to be happy.
No,
Ideally, it would be nice if she married someone I could relate to, whether the same cultural background or whatever, but the most thing is just to be happy. Are you the only girl?
No,
No, you're
I
only
have-
child?
No. I have other 2 sisters and 1 brother.
You know what you do? You tell Dad, focus on them. Leave me alone.
Yeah, but like I'm his favorite. That's why he's like more protective about me.
Okay.
No, but he likes him. He just like
Red
it's
light
not a
camera
fan
reported
of
ahead.
the idea that he's Catholic.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Are you practicing Jews? You don't look like one.
I don't. No.
So he's worried about something you don't even use. That don't make sense. How was the father and son-in-law talk? Did he come and bring you aside and say, "Come on, let me have a word
like
with you"?
The first time I met her father, he didn't even say hi to me. Like, it was weird. Like, I was like, you don't know me, but you hate me somehow. But I don't know. Like, I do think that he wants her to be happy. He's just looking for the path. Like, he believes that he knows the path for her happiness, so he's just trying to, I don't know, make her way a little easier or take the way he knows or he believes is right. So I guess if when like time goes by, if she's happy and everything works out, I guess like he will eventually, I don't know, like
Change his heart.
right.
Have a change of heart.
Right.
Yeah, once you prove yourself.
Right.
So as a father, I understand that. I understand the fact that my job is to protect my children, especially my daughter. So I will probably just look at him and you see what I mean? And then you're just picking at what he's not good at. Oh.
Right.
When I was his age, I didn't have a problem in that department. that kind of thing. Until your mum till your wife tells you off, leave him alone, I like him. Yeah. Okay.
Funny.
So you're in London. What did you think of London compared to Paris then?
It's more modern than in Paris, obviously. Like you have all these tall buildings and
Skyscrapers.
skyscrapers, and yeah, I like it. It's more bigger. I feel like the streets are wider, and like I don't know, but I feel like there's less people in the streets, and I like that. And it smells much nicer than in Paris because
Yeah, Paris was good
it
shit.
smells so bad.
Right.
Like everywhere, and there's trash everywhere also. Like it's super dirty, but it's super lovely to see the buildings and everything. It's really pretty.
London's pretty.
But oh my god! Also the metro is horrible. It's super old in Paris. In here, I like it. It's
Our metro system is the oldest one in the world. So
Really?
It's 150 years old, something like that. Yeah.
wow.
We're the first one to create the metro system.
Wow, I
Wow.
told you. You said that it
Remember-
was better because it was
Newer.
right. It was newer.
Yeah.
It's old. If you look at, say, there's a lot of stations. If you look at the stations, some old stations still got tiles on the wall,
Right.
and those were put there when it was first made.
Wow.
So when you put tiles in your bathroom, it will last a long time. The only problem was the grout.
Wow. That's interesting. That's
Yeah. I don't know if it's 150 years old, but it's quite old. Bear with me. How old is London Underground?
1863-0110.
There you are.
Right. It's
That's older than that, really.
right.
No.
No, yeah, it's
1863. So 1863, it was built.
Yeah,
That's
it's
really
about
old.
what you said.
That's like putting all our ages together, and it's still older than us.
Exactly. Yes.
I'm looking at your wife's eyes.
I have a really expressive face.
Yeah. Mhm.
But yeah, like it's really pretty, and it gets dark like super early in here. Like
Yeah,
at 5,
You're
it's getting darker.
Mexico. Are you below the equator or above the equator?
We're about above, but not that much. Like, so
Yeah.
we're the southern neighbor of the United States, so it's
Yeah.
closer to the equator.
Yeah. So what my point is about the equator is that obviously the equator defines what season you're in. So now, for instance, it's autumn, and in Kenya, like where my children live, it's also spring,
Wow.
because anything below the equator is opposite to north. But then Kenya's actually on the equator, so half the country is in winter in autumn, and the other country's in spring. Do you see what I mean? Yeah. So that would explain that in that respect
Okay.
of things. Excuse me. So, out of all the countries you've been to, where would you rather live?
Me?
Yeah, both of you.
Ah, all right. Me, Mexico.
Mexico. No place like home.
Nah, yeah.
Like,
You should visit.
Yeah,
I've been to Mexico.
You been? You like
Yeah.
it?
I got chased by a transvestite prostitute at about 2 in the morning.
Ah, all
I
right.
didn't know. Wasn't interested in what he was selling, but
Alright.
I was young. I was in my 20s then, so it's about over 20 years ago,
Right.
and I had jet lag, so I was awake, and I was thinking, let me go for a walk. So I just left the hotel about midnight or 12 or 11 o'clock, and I just went for a walk around Mexico City on my own, just watching. I saw this bar. I thought they were like cartel people. They had all had the bow ties and the suits, and I
Yeah.
thought, I don't think I should go into this bar.
Yeah.
And I went to next, and I saw a lot of prostitutes getting in the guys' cars, going off. So I carried on walking. That's when I saw the transvestite prostitute.
Right.
So he was like watching me. People kind of strange. What's this black guy walking through the middle of our city? And then I walked, and you ever seen that movie with Denzel Washington, Man on Fire?
Right.
Where you got all the flats going into the mountains and the hills. It was like that, and I was just walking down the street at midnight, and then cars were driving down, and one in the window looking at me like that, and it's driving on. And then I thought, I'll make my way back. But then as I made my way back the same way, I saw that guy, the transvestite guy. So he crossed over, and I'm walking up. So I crossed over, so he crossed over. And then when we got to the car, like there's a car, he was going around the car, and I was going around the other side. And we and then I just ran up. I went, no, I don't want what you're selling. Yeah. Oh, well, even if it's free, I don't want it. Yeah, but that was interesting. I was in a club. I walked into this club, 2 clubs. One was like a, I'm not sure if you call it a tapas bar. It's very nice, like very kind of wooden interior, wooden theme, a bit like a Western kind of place.
Right.
But there's also a lot of transvestites in there as well, and then there's people dancing their salsa. They're having a really good time. It's all friendly. And then what was the last bit? I went to this other bar. It turns out it's a stripper's bar. I didn't realise. Hand on heart, I didn't realise. So one of the girls come up to me, and all I remembered was no comprende, señorita. Yeah, and she went, "Huh!" and kind of pushed me like. I asked for water in the bar, so I don't drink. They weren't impressed. And then these 3 guys. You ever see Queen of the South? The movie, TV series, Queen of the South.
I haven't, but my
Netflix movie.
Right.
Oh, well, there's 3 Mexicans, and one was really drunk, one was a bit sober, and the other one was a big guy with a moustache,
Red light
and
camera
like a big
reported
belt
ahead.
buckle and a leather jacket thing and a shirt. And the drunk one kind of grabbed me and was trying to pull me to go somewhere, like lift me up. Obviously, I was much bigger than him, so I looked up. Before I tried to push up, I looked up, and I looked up at the big guy. So he looked up at me. I don't know how I looked at him, but he just told his friend to get the other guy off me. So he dragged him off. But he said, no, he wants to bring me with them. But now I've watched all these cartel movies, I think he did me a favour. Because I thought he would have never been met in this taxi again. Because he reminded me of the character, exactly like that character thing. Yeah, but that was my little experience of Mexico.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I met this Aztec girl. She was very nice, very very nice. In this bar outside Mexico City. It was a great experience.
Right. Yeah.
I used to travel a lot, and I'm kind of daring. I always go probably where I probably shouldn't be going. In many respects.
No, in Mexico you need to be careful. Like it's really dangerous.
Yeah, I was kidnapped.
You was kidnapped?
Yeah, I was kidnapped.
Oh come, you got wait. You got to tell me this story.
Right,
I want to hear this story. Go on.
I'll tell you as quick as I can. So I was outside the place I work in. I was fired actually that day. So I was with a person that worked with me, and he was fired also. But I was the only one who was told we were fired. And that we couldn't come in the company. So I told him like, hey, I don't know how to tell you this. Let's have a cigarette before we go in, because we couldn't go in. So, but he didn't know that, right? So we stayed out. We had a cigarette, and then the kidnappers came. They told us to lift our hands. So
Well, they had guns.
there were 5 of
them.
them. 2 went with him. 3 went with me. They got us into a car. They stole the car we were driving, and they took us to a security house, and we were there for a long time. They gave us
How many days, months?
all right. So I'm gonna tell you something interesting about that kidnapping, right? So we were very nervous, like we were very scared because they had guns. Like I thought I was gonna die. He thought he was gonna die. So he comes up. One guy, the only one who was comfortable letting us see his face.
Yeah.
He comes up to me and he says, "Do you want coke to calm down?"
Some cocaine.
Right. So I told him like, "Yeah, mate, I don't do that. Like, I really don't do that. I've never done it, and I don't think it's right." So
Yeah.
he goes off. He comes back
Yeah.
and he says, "I'm talking about Coca-Cola, bitch." Like, so he wasn't talking about cocaine.
You
I
took
thought
about
he was.
Coca-Cola.
I thought he was. They made us go to the restroom together, like me and my friend. They made us like very crazy stuff, but it was cool. I'm fine now.
No, so how? You can't leave me on that note.
All right.
So how many days were you with them for?
All right. So I was just one day, like one full day. All right. So what they did is, so we were kidnapped, right? They got our information. They asked for rescue and everything. Everything went fine. They didn't they stroke at me.
They what?
Right, because I called one Way. He didn't like that.
You called him what?
Way, like
It's
Way. It's like dude.
Dude.
Oh,
Mexico, like,
okay,
"¿Qué onda,
okay.
Way?" You know, like, but he didn't like that, so they
hit you
they hit me with the
rifle weapon,
pistol,
yeah.
right?
on your head.
In the back of my head.
Yeah.
So that was pretty interesting. But I think
Interesting.
right. I think the I don't know, the peak, or like what was more crazy about the whole kidnap thingy is that he stole all money we had in our cars. They stole everything they could, right? But after, like, when they were gonna drop us off, these 2 dudes came up to us from behind. They told us not to look back so that we couldn't see their faces, right? And they started like preaching, like telling us like that material things are not that important, that we shouldn't worry about our cars, that God will give everything back to us one day, that if we work hard, we can aim very high, and that we can get rich if we really put effort on it. But that's crazy because they're the kidnappers, right? Like they're like what? Like they it's weird that they say that. Like they really went off for like about an hour telling us how God is super important and stuff like that, which he is. I'm not saying he's not, but that was kind of crazy. And they told us we were gay, and that they wanted us to like make out with each other, and we were like, we're
Okay.
not, and they was like, do it, and I was like, we're not, and he was like, we're just kidding. So it was pretty crazy. Like they were playing with us, and also when they were interviewing us and everything like went down, they gave me a cup of water, right? And they gave my friend a cup of water, but I was in shock because they were pointing at me with the gun. So I don't know why my shock went off like that, but I started feeling like dizzy. There was nothing in the water, but I started feeling dizzy. And so like it was an interesting day of my life. When they dropped us off, they drove like a long way until the like a place where nobody was, right? And they kicked us both out of or the car or the truck or whatever they had us. Like they kicked us off, and they threw money at us. So it's like that was pretty interesting because the way that they made sure that we didn't look at the license, like the plate of the car, was that they threw our wallets with all the cards like out, so that we'd look for them before we look at their license plate, you know. And then after that, they just gave us like, I don't know, maybe €1, £1, maybe in pesos, in Mexican pesos.
So they took your money and then gave you some money
They
back
gave us
to get,
£1
to get back.
so that right, it's like so that you get back.
So what did that experience tell you then? Because it sounds like they had a big conscience.
They knew what was happening. Like something very interesting that happened is that I thought to myself, like, if I start crying, they're gonna kill me. If I start being too brave, they're gonna kill me. So the only thing I can think of doing is try to like empathize with them, so that they empathize with me, and that we like come like to a point where they know I'm not gonna tell them, and that like they let me live, right? So the first way I thought about doing that was by asking them about the song that they were playing when they were driving us to the place we were gonna stay in, right? Because they were playing like a song, like a Mexican song, but I didn't know which one was it. So when I was tied up to my friend and we were looking at a wall, I knew someone was behind me, so I asked the guy like, what song is it? Like, what song was the one that you were playing in the car while we were driving here? Because I kind of liked it, which I didn't, but. And he said, "In the Way," and I was like, "Yeah, in the way, like on our way here." And he was like, "Yeah, in the way," and I was like, "Yeah, in our way here." You feel me? But no. The name of the song was "In the Way," so I got beat up because he thought that I was playing with him. That was pretty interesting. So yeah, I kind of showed that, but yeah, it was. I'm good. My friend is good.
They didn't ask your family for money or anything?
They tried, but at that moment in particular, they weren't lucky because my father, who owned the company I was working in, was in Lego, the brick play toys. He does some machines for them.
So
they don't let you bring the phone into that company. So he couldn't pick up the phone. So since he couldn't pick up the phone, one kidnapper told the other one, like, all right, so this has to be a express kidnap, because if he spends more than 24 hours here, police is gonna start going crazy. So like, we need to have him here less than 24 hours.
Did they know who you were? Did they know you were just son?
They didn't, because I didn't have, like, I had my wallet on me, but I didn't have my cards with me.
To say you were the son of the owner.
Right, no. They thought I was. But when they asked me, I said I wasn't. So one told the other one, we got the wrong person. So they just took the cars. That's all they took, really, and our cash. The cash that we had and the cars. I even got my credit card back. Like, they didn't take it. They just took the cash and the cards.
And did you know why they picked you? Did you ask them why they picked you?
They were following us. Like after that, everything happened. When they dropped us off, I walked, and when I saw the first house, it was kind of like a business. But when I saw it, I asked for the phone. I was like, I was just dropped off by a kidnap. Can I use your phone? He was like, sure. So I called the company because I didn't know that, like, who knew I was kidnapped, right? So like I called the company. A person from the military picked up, and I was like, it's me. And he was like, where are you? And I told him like more or less where I thought I was. So yeah, like a lot of military guys showed up and picked us up, but yeah, like that's how we got back. That's how they knew, like.
How did that change your life? Did you have nightmares after that?
After that, like, all right, this was very interesting. When the next day, it was a week. The next day from that, it was probably like 2 days before Halloween. So it was around this.
This was
time.
about a year ago.
Right. So like, yeah, probably
About
this
a
day. Yeah. It was 2019 though, but like, so I went to buy a costume from a friend. So I was with two friends, right? And I was working downtown, and this homeless guy was begging for money, but he thought it was a good idea to grab me from behind, like my arm, right? Not a good idea, because that's what my brain was damaged in. Because that's how, like, when they got me kidnapped, I was looking, like, I was facing the wall. I wasn't facing the street. Like, my back was on the street, right? So when they wanted, like, they took me and they pointed the gun at me. They did that. They grabbed my arm. They made me look back, and then they pointed the gun. So when the homeless guy did that to me, it was like a flashback. Like, I just reacted to him. I just reacted, and I punched the guy, and I told him, get the fuck out. But I didn't know. Like, it was just a reflection. And that happened. I said, I'm so sorry. Like, I explained him the situation and whatever. So a couple months went by, and when I was in a parking lot, this girl was selling something. It was tortillas, like homemade tortillas. Same thing. She grabbed my shoulder to make me look at her, to like bring me to look at her. And when she did, I went off. Like, it's like a reflex that I can't turn off.
I suppose the positive thing about that, those people know not to grab people. Because, no, it's serious. Because if you're selling people, if you want them to see something, you stand in their view. You don't start dragging people and turning them around.
Right.
Do you see what I mean?
That's right. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, that's what I would say. My missus would probably tell me off and say, "No, Simon," and stuff. But apart from that, so did your dad up the security from that then on?
Yes, and I had security guards for a little bit, like bodyguards, for a little bit, just for a little bit, because we have having a company in Mexico is way easier than having a company in Europe. Like, you don't have to be wealthy to have it. Like, it's not that I have an extreme amount of money. I don't. Like, it's just that they, again, like in Europe, when you get kidnapped or something like that happens, they are looking at like big money. In Mexico, it's not really like that. Like, you might have some money, but you don't have to be very wealthy. So that's it. Like, I had bodyguards for a little bit. Then my dad was like, it's not enough. Like, it's not that like worth it. Like, you're fine. But since we asked for, like, the police showed us the security cameras of the city, we noticed that they were following us from a long time before we got to the company. So
did the police catch up with them?
So when I was with the military after I got kidnapped, they asked me if I could ride with them to tell them where I, like, more or less where I thought I was. But my mom didn't let me. She was like, nah, they might be. That's the thing with Mexico, right? Like, she said, like, hey, you don't know if that was a cartel, and if it was a cartel, you're getting in big trouble if you're telling them. So like,
yeah.
right.
Just
so,
take the slap in the face
right,
and walk
She was
away.
like, you were pretty lucky. Let's just bring that luck with us. Like, you're good. Let them do their work. Don't help them though.
That's the wise words of the mum, really.
Right.
I think that's wise, really. She's thinking out the box. Dad would be thinking for revenge.
Exactly. Like rather that, because I really wanted them. Like when they said, "Do you want to help us?" I was like, "Yes." And she was like, she pulled me. Actually, she was like, "You're not doing that." Like, no, because if it was a cartel, you're getting in way much trouble that the one that you just experienced. So like, let's not. We're cool. I'm glad you're okay. The police they did their job in the way that they picked me up very quick when I said that I was let go of. They were ready to start the search, so let's just call it a day, I guess.
That's a really good story. I'm sorry it happened to you. I should say, like, it's really good. Yeah, really entertaining. I'm gonna go viral with this. No, that's a interesting story. Have you personally? Are you more aware of your surroundings now? Are you
Definitely.
like you're looking in the mirror, like you're walking down the street, you look in the car mirror, seeing someone following you?
No, mostly when I'm driving. Like, since we noticed that, like both of us, me and my best friend, like when we're driving, we're always like looking at the mirrors and like looking up, and like if we see that there's a car that has been around a long time, we like I try to like round the area or whatever. Yes, definitely I'm more aware of my surroundings.
Is it Mexico or Colombia that's the kidnap capital of the world?
Oh, Colombia.
Oh, Colombia.
Right.
Which they are using. Yeah,
but
Colombia.
That part there anyway. Like,
you know, no, because obviously this story started off with me saying how people was following me when I was in Mexico, so that's why I asked.
No. But the kidnap is crazy. Like, you really have to be careful. I have a friend, not a friend, like a friend of an uncle of mine. He's a good guy, but he was kidnapped also, but he wasn't as lucky as I was. He owned a lot of gas stations, so he was pretty wealthy. Like, he was very rich. So what they did to him was they asked him for money, and he was like, he told the kidnappers, like, you don't kidnap the one who pays. You should have kidnapped my daughter or my wife or something like that, because I'm the one who pays. Like, they can't give you the money. I can. They thought that was rude.
Yeah.
That was provocative. So they took his eyes out.
People don't think
because
you gotta think about these things.
They told him like, yeah, you're right. So we're gonna have to drop you off. We're gonna take your eyeballs out. So they took them, and now he's like, all right, completely blind.
I would have said that just take one eyeball, and then I can at least sign a check for you.
Yeah.
Do you see what I mean?
He should have negotiated.
Yeah,
but they did that. Like, now he got into depression, and now he lost everything. Like, he lost his family. He's still
How did he lose his family? Because he's blind. He lost his family.
He got grumpy. After that happened, he was just rude to everybody, and like his wife like really understood him for quite some years, and like we're like, yeah, I know you're upset. I know this very bad thing happened to you. I'm here for you and whatever. But he really like had like a terrible mood always. So his wife and his daughter couldn't take it anymore. They were like, you know what, this is it. You should be trying to move on, not like have this rage, like right?
Yeah, so, different people heal in different times in different ways.
Right.
That's the thing. Well,
but I don't even think like Mexicans that's
no, I don't. Yeah. I'm not thinking like that at all. I'm just saying that that's an interesting. You got stories for days. That's an interesting story, man.
Yeah.
That's an interesting story. But thanks a lot for that interview.
No, thank you.
I wish you well, and I hope you have a great time in London.
Thank you.
And always be aware of your surroundings. The last thing I was going to say is this. I watched a film, I can't remember if it's Colombian or Mexico, and it's based on the same kind of situation that happened to you. But the woman was kidnapped. There's a woman who was kidnapped and she was mistreated and everything. And then she said from then on, so her father was wealthy, she doesn't drive expensive cars. She doesn't dress really nice. She just blends in with the community that she lives in, as not in a big house, but as in when she goes to work,
Right.
I'm just driving a car. It doesn't have to be flashy. It's just quite normal. Do you see what I mean? Have you found that you've changed in that sense, or are you still
Yes.
driving nice cars?
I think everybody in Mexico does that.
Yeah, a lot of people in Mexico does that. Like a lot. Like you have people. I have a friend that used to work in a I don't know, like exchange, like money house, like where you buy stocks and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And there was this guy driving a Toyota Camry, right? And he was like, I know him. And I was like, how do you know him? And she's like, he's got $100 million in his bank account, and he's driving a Toyota Camry. Because like people do that there, like.
So everybody's dressing down to be poor, and the
Right.
poor are trying to dress up to make out they're rich.
Right. Exactly. Like you got it super right. Yeah.
Okay then. Thanks a lot for that.
Yeah, thank you.
And we wish you well.
You too. I hope you have a nice day.
We hope that episode enhanced your life. We post an interview every day, as well as vlogging on our social media channels. Don't forget to subscribe to get our latest episode.